this attack on democracy will not go on unchallenged, that the Tennessee House Republicans' attempt to crucify democracy has instead resurrected a movement led by young people to restore our democracy, to build a multiracial coalition. We are in the midst of a third Reconstruction here, beginning here in Nashville. And I think what, the message is that we will continue to resist, that this is not the end of that their decision to expel us is not the ultimate authority, but that the people will hold them accountable.
So that was someone that looks familiar to all of us now after just 5 days of covering this story. That was ousted Tennessee representative, that was Justin Jones, on the reaction, the backlash to the Tennessee State House's expulsion of him and fellow Representative Justin Pearson late last week, all for simply participating in a demonstration urging their fellow legislators to do something more than nothing to help end gun violence after the mass shooting at the Covenant Elementary School left 6 people, including 3 9-year-olds, murdered. Today, a rally is beginning at the Tennessee State Capitol again over that body's inaction on gun violence, and now also the expulsion of Representatives Jones and Pearson, adding new urgency to the protesters' mission. Yet another senseless tragedy, another mass shooting, another murder. This morning, a gunman killed 4 people and injured 9 more in downtown Louisville, Kentucky. Joining our coverage, Democratic Congressman Maxwell Frost of Florida. He's a gun violence survivor himself, and he served as the national organizing director at March for Our Lives. March for Our Lives, I believe, was the group that the 2 ousted members aligned themselves with and supported that day. It's where a majority of Tennesseans stand when it comes to gun safety legislation. It's where a majority of Americans stand. Your reaction to seeing 2 public servants, 2 elected representatives ousted for aligning themselves with their constituents?
Thank you so much for having me on. And I think, like most people feel, it's disgusting. And we've seen that this rise in this specific part of the right wing, the specific part of the Republican Party, which is this far right wing fascist movement that is working at taking the power that they have and abusing it to remove people from political office, to push forward an agenda that provides solutions to problems that don't even exist, while they ignore what's actually happening with the American people. And it begs the question, why over the last few years have we seen this really rise quickly? And I think it's because the right wing is now understanding that time is not on their side, that this new generation of voters, young millennials and Gen Z, are overwhelmingly voting for Democratic candidates who actually care about their future, a future where there's no gun violence, a future where we work to prevent the climate crisis and work on the issues of our time. And they know this. And so they are getting ready and doing everything they can to be able to govern in a minority rule situation. And that's why we see people like Governor DeSantis, people in Texas and in Tennessee work and abuse their power in unconstitutional ways to remove people from office. And it's like a backlash we're seeing because of the youth vote that's coming out right now.
Yeah, I mean, it is, in any objective read, the autocrat's toolkit. DeSantis's war on the press, the Tennessee Republicans' war on disenfranchising the voters and the constituents of Representatives Pearson and Jones, the assault on women's access to health care. They are all tools that an autocrat, a textbook autocrat, relies on. The black box has inside it, what will young people do? You, by your presence and your election, your victory in the Congress, you answer it for us. But what do you think they will do next? What will they do in 2024?
I think we're going to continue to see that this youth voter turnout will continue to rise. We've seen the past 3 cycles have had wildly amazing youth voter turnout numbers, and we're not done yet. You know, in 2020, we had the highest youth voter turnout in the history of our country, and half of Gen Z can't even vote yet. Meanwhile, the Republican Party is focused on changing the voters. And you know there's something wrong with your policy party when your path to victory is changing the voters and gerrymandering our maps to hell. And that's what's going on right now. It's anti-democratic, it's not democracy, and it's not the freedom and liberty that the party tends to hold up, the Republican Party holds up as their banner. True patriotism is loving the people in the country. It's not just about the flag. It's about the people in the country. And it's something that this generation, Gen Z and young folks understand. And that's why we're going to continue to fight. We will vote, but we also will hit the streets, and we also will take care of one another. And I think that holistic interpretation of what a movement is part of the reason why Gen Z and young folks are going to really build political power quickly in this country. It's using every single tool in our toolbox, and we're not afraid to do that.
When there's a mass shooting, there's now, in the last couple, an ability to find some eyewitnesses who have maybe been on the scene of or touched in some way by more than one. That's how frequent they are. But I think even more widespread than that, your generation has grown up from age 2 or 3 to adulthood having active shooter drills. Whether you've been touched by an actual mass shooting or not, I've raised a child who, since the time he was 3, has had active shooter drills every several weeks. You had active shooter drills and witnessed an actual horrific mass shooting at your school. What kind of voter, what do you want from your government if that is your reality, if that is your experience as an American?
Yeah, unfortunately, my generation is defined by these mass shootings. Sometimes I call us the mass shooting generation, which is just horrible to think. And I've done this exercise before in a room full of people. I ask, what are some defining moments for your generation, no matter what your ideology is? And a lot of times you'll hear the moon landing, or you'll hear post 9/11 when the country came together. Ask a member of Gen Z, and what you'll hear is Pulse, Parkland, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, death, trauma, death. And that trauma really is defining our generation. But you know what also defines our generation? What we do in spite of that trauma. And we're fighting. And I think really we're not here to play the blame game. We're not here to say it's this person's fault, etc. I think we just want to be a part of the solution here. And we're a bit confused and impatient at the fact that we still live in a country where we lose 100 people a day due to gun violence. We still live in a country where if you are a kid and you were to die, God forbid, the most likely reason is because of a bullet. That's unacceptable to us. And I think we're just here to fight for a world where everybody is safe. We refuse this scarcity mindset that politicians have used all the time, that your success somehow takes away from me. No, we reject that. We can all live. We can all thrive. And we want true freedom and liberty, the freedom to be able to live without the fear of gun violence. And I really believe this is why it gives me so much optimism. I know things are dark right now, everyone at home watching, especially in the state of Florida. But what makes me optimistic is that our electorate is shifting to a place where they're fighting for justice and they're voting for candidates who actually give a damn about our lives. That's why I ran for Congress, and I'm not the last one.
Do you know of anybody? I mean, I'm sure you are in receipt of a lot of calls and people reaching out to find out what it's like and how hard it is and how do you do it. Do you hear from people that are thinking of following in your footsteps and running for Congress?
100%. And the great thing is it's not just Congress. It's people who want to run for school board, state representatives, city council, every single position you can think of. And that's really how we're going to make the change in this world, not just in Congress, but every level of government. We need people who are forward-thinking progressive candidates and thinking about ways of how we're going to end gun violence at every level of government. I actually just introduced my first bill, which creates a federal office of gun violence prevention, which will help do just that. Work with municipal, city, state governments and Congress to provide recommendations and give the data that we need to solve this problem holistically. But what we will refuse is politicians who go in front of cameras and say, oh, it's going to happen anyway. There's nothing we can do. If that's the energy you're bringing to this problem, you don't belong in the seat of power. You don't belong in a place where you represent the people, because every death is a policy failure. And I believe in my heart that we will end gun violence. We just need to come together around it. And like you said, Nicole, most people in this country are for common sense gun reform. Most NRA members are for universal background check. So it begs the question, why isn't it law? And it's because bipartisanship for the rest of us means what we can agree on. But bipartisanship in Congress in this issue means what the NRA is okay with. And we will continue to root out and vote out these politicians who are bought and paid for by corporate gun lobby money that value those profits over children and over human lives. It's unacceptable.